Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to my favorite time of the show. It's main event time, and not only that, it is rematch time.
Main event, baby, and it is for the Ultimate Sacrifice Tag Team Championships. And for the second month in a row, my favorite tag team in Sacrifice are competing for the opportunity. And the aptly named breakfast at Ty-V Lee's is Ty-V Lee and Frankie Vegas, Los Palaminos. Of course, they won in the tournament format, got all the way to the finals this year, as they did last year, and they faced the reigning defending champions in the Unbreakables. Warren Banks and Ken Nelson had an absolute barn burner of a match, and unfortunately came up short.
But it was so good. Los Palaminos earned the respect of the Unbreakables, and they said, you know, we're up for this again if you want it. And the Unbreakables, you know, due to the respect that was earned, they gave them what they wanted, and we have ourselves, as you said, sees the rematch of the show that could have stolen, of the match that could have stolen the show last month.
A well-deserved rematch for a well-deserved team.
And introducing their opponents.
And the crowd already jacked up for this one.
And Ken Nelson, the Unbreakables of Sacrifice Pro and the Saints of Sacrifice.
For so long we called these two the gatekeepers, the measuring stick for which other tag teams had to beat.
And now they have the belt to prove it. And they did not compete in the Golden Tag Tournament last year, whereas Los Palaminos did. They made it to the finals. And of course, we know what happened last year, the kick around the world. It was not a competition for 2 belts, but for 1. Los Palaminos retained their 100% win record until last month, when they were beaten cleanly by that team.
It was that statement from them. They admitted there was no hiding behind, you know, twisted statistics, no asterisks, no get-out clauses, no loopholes. Honest. They admitted they were beaten by the bigger team, by the better team.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following tag team contest is your main event of Chapter 16, and is set for one fall, and it is for the Saints of Sacrifice Championships. Introducing first the challengers. They are the tag team combination of Ty-V Lee and Frankie Vegas, Los Palaminos! And introducing your current reigning and defending Saints of Sacrifice champions. They are the tag team combination of Warren Banks and the original wrestler, Ken Nelson.
The Unbreakables won those belts not too long ago, our 1-year anniversary, where Ken Nelson cashed in his golden opportunity that he got from the Hateful Eight a year ago.
And that just shows you how close Ken Nelson, Warren Banks are. Ken Nelson could have gone after the Ultimate Sacrifice Championship.
Yeah.
Instead, he opted to fight alongside his brother-in-arms.
And it was one pop-up spear later. The Brick Lane were deposed and the crowd was sent home with the biggest smiles. There were tears in Warren Banks' eyes, a smile on Ken Nelson's face, which is rare in its own right. And now...
Up until that point, I didn't even know he could smile.
Yeah, and now we have the #1 contenders against the rightful champions. So starting things off with Frankie Vegas, Ken Nelson, first collar tie-up.
And again, we talk about the likes of Brick Lane and Team Mad knowing each other inside out. You know, last month, you know, these two kind of threw everything they had at each other. So in my book, I think the key to this one is who's going to throw out something that they haven't seen before. Who's going to dig into their bag of tricks and try and find something to surprise their opponent. I feel the person who does that the most successfully on this match will find themselves walking out with a goal.
Yeah, it's who has learnt more, who has done more in that 1 month span and trained more to make sure that everything that they need is in the right places to take home those belts. Push off, clever, jumps over,
jumps again. The athleticism of Ken Nelson. Oh, ooh. Eats a drop kick.
First tag made. In comes the Suicide Blonde. Well, it's Suicide Brown right now. But
throws a forearm at Warren Banks, and Warren Banks does not look impressed.
Oh, roll through with the snapmare.
And that's
Skid Row. One.
Straight into that Shining Wizard style knee. And that is that fluidity of Tyvee Lee. Did you see how much toast he brought out at the start of the show, T?
Yeah, I had a couple of bits of it when we were starting. I kind of want some more now. It was nice.
Just shows how much time. I mean, you look at our very, very first show and what Tyvee Lee was like back then compared to how he is now. Ooh, the evolution of Tyvee Lee.
Oh, it's changed an awful lot.
And of course, Frankie Vegas. In fact, the evolution of Los Palaminos as a whole.
And they were at the very first Sacrifice show. Granted, not as a tag team, but Tyvee was there supporting Frankie against the Pastor William Eva.
If you'd have told me 15 shows ago that this would be where we are, the main event of Chapter 16,
I would have not believed it.
Los Palaminos walking out to the reception. They got, just shows you the respect they've earned from the crowd here. And of course from our current tag champs, the Unbreakables.
Gets him out of the way. Oh, look at the strength of Frankie Vegas.
Power bomb.
2.
Running power bomb from Frankie Vegas. Just about all he could do to get out of that predicament.
Uses some tag team offense there. Oh, flips through. Grabs them both. Punch to one. And a power slam to the other.
Huge power slam from Ken Nelson.
Tag made, and in comes Warren Banks.
Runs straight through a clothesline attempt from Tyvee Lee. And now Warren Banks kicks, forearms, chops flying left, right and center.
Oh, look at that elevation.
Hesitation drop kick from the Unbreakable Warren Banks. Picks him up.
Oh, on the knee.
Slams him down onto the back of the knee.
GTO, 1, 2. Ooh. All that elevation, dropping that momentum on your neck through to a knee is such a vicious move.
Just that running punch back, and folks, all respect aside.
1, 2.
All the respect aside between these two teams, they are not going to hold back. They are not going to pull their punches.
And that's what respect does, Ollie, when you don't have to hold back and you can go all out because you know that person would not expect anything less.
Front face lock now employed by Warren Banks, trying his best to keep Frankie Vegas away from his corner.
They're trying to keep him in no man's land. The longer he can do that, the better the chance he has of wearing him out and getting a pin. Oh, and there come those really, really strong gores right into the corner. Look at the speed and fluidity of Warren Banks. Oh, beautiful Hurricanrana.
Diving in from the second rope. Frankie Vegas whips up a Hurricanrana.
Ooh.
Warren Banks gets the shoulder up at 2.
And Frankie Vegas is not a small man. You see him do that, something certainly different when we are more anticipating of Tyvee Lee, doing the high flying maneuvers. It goes to show that risks are being taken.
You just see them, Warren Banks and Frankie Vegas, just even from their backs, just firing shots at their opponents. In comes Kent. In comes Tyvee. And Tyvee Lee runs over Kent with that
leg lariat.
Huge clothesline. Yeah, followed by that leg lariat. Sweeps the leg.
Beautiful sweep.
Here we go. Standing moonsault.
1, 2, and
Tyvee Lee saw the elbow drop coming. Big boot. Big boot from Tyvee Lee.
They have brought their A game, both teams, but right now it's Los Palaminos firing on all cylinders. What doesn't kill you makes you Sonya.
Wheelbarrow facebuster combo meal from Los Palaminos.
2. And we've seen them get to the finals of the tournament with this move. Highly effective.
Helps when it was off the second rope. Oh, when it gets Warren Banks goes up and out.
Smacked his shoulder on the apron. And that isolates the more tired Kent Nelson.
We just dug deep to kick out of the whatever doesn't kill you, makes you. We needed a much easier name for that. We'll just call it the Sonya.
The Sonya. Oh, and they're going for a double worm.
Double worm. This is interesting. Something we've never seen before. And that's exactly what I said we needed to see out of the teams today.
Oh, and pushing out the ref. Wow. Actually throwing the ref out of the way.
Of course, Warren Banks didn't want to attack Sam the ref, so he made sure he was out of harm's way before diving in to break up that pin attempt.
Just more aggression than we're not used to seeing from Warren Banks. Meter burner!
Meter burn knee straight to the jaw of Frankie Vegas.
Oh, and a punch to the throat.
Going for the Magic Killer. Up goes Tyvee.
Oh, Magic Killer hits.
Corkscrews him down to the mat.
2. Oh, but not quite enough.
Tyvee showing his heart and soul right now. Finding anything to kick out of that one. I have no idea how he did it.
Palaminos know that they will not get another opportunity if they lose here. And right now, both men caught in headlocks.
Front face locks, then kind of turned into maybe guillotine chokes.
Oh, just as you said it, Ollie. Oh, boy. Those are two very big men wrenching on the neck. But Frankie Vegas is not holding up. He's not letting up.
Frankie's turning this into a vertical suplex.
He's trying.
Oh, that is one way to break up a submission attempt. Innovative way to break that one up, but that was almost all over.
A completely different match from the last one we saw, Ollie. But a classic nonetheless.
That's what happens when you fight with respect and with honor.
Big splash from the big man. And then, I was going to thought he was going for a splash, they went for a shoulder check.
Oh, Tyvee just about making that show tie up to the top rope.
Oh, we've seen him do this before. He's gone to the finals in the Golden Tag Tournament. If he can hit this. Oh, boy.
Oh!
Spanish fly from the top rope!
Oh, my goodness!
Mamma mia!
New
1,
champs!
2!
New champs!
Oh!
Somehow, someway, Kent Nelson dug down deeper than ever before. Found longer way to get the shoulder up.
And now you know why Los Palaminos are one of my favorite tag teams, as well as the Unbreakables, but the end could be in sight. Frankie has him up. Oh, kick to the head.
Into turn of the cards.
1, 2. Oh.
And you see there again, Warren Banks throwing Ivy Lee in to break that one up. Doing whatever it takes to get the job done and keep this one alive.
Well, trying to throw Warren Banks. Warren getting the momentum. Throwing him out.
Breakfast is over.
Oh.
Ivy Lee to the outside.
Forearms.
Oh, enziguri.
And Ivy just trying to hang on, couldn't quite keep it. And these are some strong forearms being held. Every bit of energy that Frankie has is being thrown into this. He is fighting with everything he has.
Actually, the backhand.
Oh, big boot. Holds over the full Nelson and a meter burner.
Into the full Nelson.
1, 2, 3, and that is all she wrote. The champs retain.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, and still Saints of Sacrifice champions, the Unbreakables!
Folks, there is now no arguments, no asterisks, no loopholes, no get-out clauses. Definitively, we now know the Unbreakables 2-0 over Los Palaminos, and if Los Palaminos ever want to get their hands on the gold, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, back to the back of the line, and find another way, because right now, the Unbreakables are unbeatable.
And undisputed. And another classic. But there will be no rematch. But props to Ivy Lee, holding up the arm of Warren Banks, showing a lot of class in defeat for a second time. And it is heartbreaking to see them come so close and so far. But it is what it is. And it was a great match nonetheless. Well, Ken seems furious. Still more energy left in him. Ken is just furious right now. I think it might be adrenaline.
Warren Banks heading to the back after the match. Kendra's got a little bit over-enthusiastic, it seems. Well, folks, that brings the close to Sacrifice Pro Chapter 16.
Yeah.
Breakfast at Ivy Lee.
Ken Nelson. Ken.
As I was saying, that brings a close to Breakfast at Ivy Lee's. I've been the Mastermind Ollie Spring.
I've been TJ Lee.
And folks, we will see you next time at Saki P.